You're listening to Birds Coast to Coast. Here's your host, John Clark and Tanner Riddle.
Dude, that sounds so much better with headphones on. Oh my god. All right, welcome to Birds Coast to Coast, everyone. This is episode 18. My name's John. It's Tanner over in Arizona. I'm hanging out in North Carolina. I'm trying to fill time because we're in like the dead zone of the NFL offseason. So we're just gonna sit here for about an hour, and
for another 4 months.
For another 4 months. Now this is like the nitty gritty. This is when like people who've been listening to us actually like really want to listen to us because there's not much to talk about. But you know, hey, look, the Eagles are a soap opera, so it's always going to be something happening. And the Cardinals got Jeremiah Love, so hey, that's exciting.
Well, I mean, there was a big signing for the Eagles, a contract extension.
Well, we signed. Let's see, Andrew Barry's brother, Adam Barry. We saw that, right?
Wasn't the one I was thinking of.
Oh, who the heck are you talking about?
He's bigger.
Oh, Big Dom. Big Dom's back. He doesn't go anywhere. Dude, I need to meet this man. You know, let's just talk about Big Dom before we get on the topic. Like, you know, honestly, you know, coastal elitists might know Tanner in real life. He doesn't actually like Big Dom.
No. It's not that I don't like him. He just got too mainstream.
Oh, is this like Kelsey? What do you mean he got too mainstream?
Honestly, it's just like Jason Kelsey.
Wait. This is him in every single photograph. He's like, you know, he's got that big, you know, that Italian going. For those who aren't listening, like, don't watch it, I'm just kind of like spreading my gut out, you know, and trying to look very, very greasy, very Italian. Like you just ate a hoagie. But no, he's like, for those who don't know, Big Dom is like the head of security for the Eagles, and you're probably wondering, like,
and special assistant to the general manager. I was reading off his titles earlier today. It was awesome.
He's just like everyone's best friend on the Eagles. It's insane. Like everyone loves this guy, and like I get it. Like a head of security, I'm sure that job is extremely encompassing, right? Like I'm sure, like, you know, getting to know the players' families and their detailing of their houses and their cars and just making sure they know where everyone is and they're safe. Like, you probably have to know a lot about the players to be a good security manager. I get it. But, like, dude, he is, like, revered in that organization. Like, even the head coaches are like, I run things by Big Dom. It's like, okay, what the heck? All right. He might be.
Yeah, no, I mean, I could see that being a secretly very important position. I mean, we don't have a Big Dom. But maybe that explains our lack of success.
Maybe you do. Have you looked at your organizational tree? I'm sure there's someone at the head of security.
Well, shoot, given how much press that Big Dom's gotten, wouldn't every team really want to show off their Big Dom?
I know, right? Like their
Actually, that sounds kind of wrong. Let me see your Big Dom.
This is a huge deal.
I hear you.
This is a huge Dom.
It's a huge Dom. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Big Dom's back. How much you willing to bet they're paying Big Dom? Millions?
No, I don't think millions.
Yeah, he might got some, like...
I was gonna say what? I would say 250 to 300. I mean, he signed a contract, which is kind of funny.
Well, why is that funny? Like, I don't get it.
I mean,
how else do you work?
I didn't sign a contract. I'm day to day.
Okay.
Did you sign a contract?
I mean, teachers sign contracts. I don't know what.
You don't? Oh, you do? What, are you on like a 5-year contract?
You know what's funny? It's actually year to year.
Okay, I mean,
it's actually we live on constant 1-year cycle contracts, and we have to sign it every year for the next year.
Okay, well, I'm day to day. I could be let go tomorrow without any guarantees.
Well, me too. I don't think the contract.
No, you got a year contract. That's more security than I got.
Listen, man, these teachers are constantly trying to prove themselves on 1-year deals. It's a prove it deal every year. All right.
You know what they say about prove it years? You can't trust it.
No, you can't. You can't. All of a sudden we get career years, and all of a sudden it's like, wasn't the best. That's why
can't trust these EOG scores.
Okay, so what were we saying? Oh yeah, so Big Dom signed. We actually signed Andrew Barry's brother, Adam Barry, who's
Twin
like
brother.
twin. Oh really, twin?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
I didn't know that.
I say send the twin to like Cleveland. Well, really, you don't really want to steal much from Cleveland. They should send Andrew Barry into Philly and then steal all the secrets. Did he
Well,
actually used to be in Philly?
yeah, Andrew Barry came from Philly.
Oh, well, then never mind. He should have all the
Yeah,
secrets then.
yeah. Andrew
Clearly, it's
Barry
worked
came.
out
Yeah, he came from Philly, and he was just like, yeah, like you're
because
right. Like
everyone's come from Philly.
uh,
It's really annoying how the center of the football universe is Philadelphia or Howie's office. He,
more specifically, Howie's office.
whether it's fans, whether it's front office personnel, it's just everyone has a tie to Philadelphia.
It's so great there that even AJ Brown came back to off-season minicamp. It's just so great. They're in the midst of a big trade speculation war, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll come back and hang out with the rookies. Why not?"
For the children.
Yeah, for the kids. So, all right. So anyway, we were gonna do this podcast this week. A lot of these topics are going to be more, I don't know, like weekly type themed. Maybe like
Not as
top
much
10
current
here.
events.
Yeah, not really current events, but just kind of digging in the past and seeing some of our favorite games, favorite players, favorite moments. Maybe even those heartbreaking moments. We're gonna get in with it. Just for a couple weeks, just to kind of pass the time. Eventually, we'll do like a division by division breakdown. But let's be real, like we're not even training camp yet. So I mean, is there really anything we can formulate with these teams right now, a couple days after the draft? Really, not much. So we're gonna have some fun, kind of throw the ball back and forth and see what we remember from our fandoms and our past. And
The division by division breakdown, I'm actually looking forward to that because I think it's going
it
to be a
is.
good opportunity to kind of refresh what happened last year, all the new stuff that's happened, and what, give us a better idea of what to expect going forward.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Really structured too, which me and Tanner are both looking forward to as we enter the summer of doldrums and chaos. So we're gonna really take this opportunity to look back because we decided not to give our grades of this previous NFL draft because we can't grade. Like we can look at value based on where the player was supposed to go versus where they were picked. And yes, you can like kind of come up with like a grade by looking at that. But where a player was supposed to go is just a collection of like media heads and what they kind of collectively thought about a player, but not actually how good the player is. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to analyze the past 5 drafts from each of the Eagles.
5?
5 drafts. We're going to be whizzing through these drafts. And we're going to see exactly what draft pick was good, what draft pick was bad. Because after 5-ish years or so, you can really start to tell, like, okay, that guy didn't make it. That guy was actually a good player. This guy got hurt. This guy, blah, blah, blah. You can't do that with the draft that just happened. None of these guys have stepped on the field yet. So in lieu of making a draft grade for the 2026 draft, we decided to give you 10 grades for 10 drafts from the past 5 years. So would it make sense to start from 2021 and move up, or start recent and move back? What would you think? How do you want to do it? I got all of them. I was just wondering, like,
let's start from 21.
Okay, all right, cool. So I'll let you guys hear Tanner's first because I'm sure he's been itching to hear, what because I don't even think Monty was around in 2021. Was he? Was Monty even around in 2021?
No, his first year was 23.
This is a Kime special. Oh, I can't wait to hear this draft class. What do you got?
All right, so I'll just go ahead and read off in order. Round 1, we went with linebackers David Collins. Round 2, Rondo Moore. We did not have a third-round pick that year. Round 4, Marco Wilson. No round 5. Round 6, Victor Dimukeje. Also another round 6 pick, Tay Gowan. And then 2 round 7 picks, James Wiggins and Michael Minette. Oh, wow, man, this is kind of taking me back. I totally remember some of these guys, but very briefly. The first thought is round 1. Specifically with that year, I remember I had I had 10 guys that I really liked for us, and we had the 16th pick. Well, the problem was, and there was 5 so we had Kyler Murray. So I was like, hey, like, this is our quarterback. But there were 5 quarterbacks who went. So you can do the math. 10 plus 5 is 15. So I'm like, man, I just need one guy from my list, or one guy not on my list to go. So I'm guaranteed one of my 10, right?
Yeah.
All 15 went. Like,
Yeah, so you're out. You're out of luck.
Everyone that I wanted went before us. I remember Zayvon Collins got some late push leading up to that process where it's like, oh, there's a little bit of linkage there. So it wasn't 100%. It wasn't 100%. Hey, like,
Yeah.
It didn't come out of nowhere. But this was a year after we took Isaiah Simmons. Zayvon Collins actually played inside linebacker in college. And so there was this idea of, hey, we got the hybrid Isaiah Simmons and then the traditional Zayvon Collins. Both of these guys, they were huge, 6'3" and 6'4". We were just going to have, like, the Twin Towers, playing linebacker for us. We're going to cover all the tight ends. We're going to be able to cover so much space. I wasn't crazy about the pick, but, I like the idea of, like, maybe really having, like, that Twin Tower idea at linebacker. But it was the second round pick that I was really excited about. That was Rondale Moore. He was a guy I probably, if you actually just swap the order, we take Rondale in the first and Zayvon in the second, probably would have been a lot more excited about this draft. I was a huge fan of Rondale. I actually had him as, like, a Deebo Samuel comp, but, like, much smaller. He was a wide receiver from Purdue, super versatile. Really, it was the guy you want to get the ball in his hand. Maybe not your traditional outside X receiver, but someone you just want to get the ball in his hand. Then let's see. Next pick was Marco Wilson. He was from Florida. What's funny about him is he's probably most known for throwing an opponent's shoe when he played LSU. Opponent's shoe fell off and he just, like, chucks it into the stands.
I remember that. That play. Wasn't it, like, right before a field goal and it made it closer?
It was something like that. Yeah, I think he got a penalty for it. He was actually pretty decent early in his career. He played quite a bit. We actually traded up in that round we traded an extra 4th, so we moved up in the 4th round by giving up another 4. So we essentially paid 2 4th-round picks for him. Seemed like a good move after year 1. It's like, hey, like, in the moment, it's like, oh, geez, why are we paying 2 4ths for 1 4th? But after year 1, it seemed like a good move. But, yeah, it just didn't quite work out shortly after. Victor Dimukeje in the 6th round from Duke. He was a defensive end. It was actually pretty good. Again, this is all relative to, like, expectations and where you're picked. The fact that he stayed on the team for, I think he actually fulfilled maybe his rookie contract. Hey, he gave us good snaps, good rotational guy. Tay Gowan, if I'm not mistaken, did we not actually trade him to the Eagles?
I do remember Tay Gowan was the name. I
didn't
Tay Gowan. I was like, wait a sec, he didn't do anything for us.
Yeah, I don't.
I remember the name on the trade transaction, and that was the last I heard of him.
Special teamer. Probably just that much more productive for us than you. Not really enough. And then there's James Wiggins and Michael Manette. I'm going to be honest, I don't really remember too much. I don't think we got really too much production from. But again, they're 7th-round picks. They're already from the outside looking in.
So if you were to give him a grade, what would you grade him? How would you go?
I mean, only one guy got a second contract, I guess, and it was super rare. The 1st-round pick to get an extension without getting the 5th-year option picked up and getting less money. That's kind of you think about that. How many times does the 1st-round pick get less money on a second contract? Weird, huh? Well, he also moved to edge. He's a run-stopping edge, whatever that means. Like, It just means take up space. I feel like this might be a little too nice, but a C minus, just because David is still on the team. Rondo had moments, but not really that many. Marco had, he also had his moments. Victor Dimukeje honestly might be the second best pick in that draft. Yeah, I mean, I think C minus might even be a little too generous. So I don't know. I got a special spot for Rondo. I was very excited about him, and I thought he was super, not only underutilized but misutilized. So we didn't know how to use him, in my opinion.
I mean, it is unfortunate. I mean, I think, we'd be remiss to bring up the fact that unfortunately he did pass away earlier this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, rest in peace, Rondale. I mean, that was a real. I mean, I remember me and you really bonded over him just because he was a really cool, exciting player that we both kind of scoped out pre-draft. And it's always cool when you have guys that you kind of lock in on pre-draft
Right.
and goes to your team. So that's always an exciting moment, and it's just a shame that like his career didn't turn out the way we kind of expected and hoped it would be. And I don't know, man. It's just sad how sometimes players kind of let that stuff get in their head and, just kind of takes them down a wrong path. So that's just a really sour situation to kind of speak on, to see how his career went that way and how his life ended up. But, rest in peace, Rondale. But
Did you want to go over your 21 draft?
Yeah. So this one went a little better. So our 2021 draft was the beginning of the Nick Sirianni era. So it actually rounded out pretty easily for, picking 5 years. So first pick, Devontae Smith out of Alabama. We first had a good high pick, and then we traded back to get I think pick 13 or something. We were further back, and then we traded back up to get to Devontae Smith at 10. And he's been everything we'd hoped for. I mean, honestly, I even think if A.J. Brown wasn't here, he would put up wide receiver 1 numbers. I mean, people forget that he set the rookie record for Eagles receiving yards. I mean, it wasn't like he had a bad rookie year at all. And we didn't really – we had like, second year Hurts. So, I mean, like – and Jalen Reagor was still on the team as wide receiver too. Like, we were bereft of talent. And he basically shouldered the entire passing game on his own, and he put up the numbers, man. So it was awesome. Pick 2, Landon Dickerson. Great hit. Kind of a risky pick because of the injury history, but it's panned out. He's had a career that's been really good. Sans last year because of his injury problem. It kind of reared its ugly head finally last year. But, I mean, Pro Bowl level, near all-pro guard level. So, I mean, great player. Third pick, Milton Williams. I mean, we're just bang, bang, bang. We're just killing it right now. This is a great draft. Milton Williams, great rotational pass rushing defensive tackle. Ended up, planting Patrick Mahomes a couple times in the Super Bowl. Got himself a nice $100+ million contract for the Patriots. And he did great for the Patriots. Was a really impactful player. Zach McPherson was kind of like a bounce around rotational depth corner. Hasn't really made too much of a, statement. I don't think he's on the team anymore. Kenny Gainwell in round 5. What a depth piece. We love Kenny. Him being in the
It's a really good draft.
Awesome. I mean, it's a really good draft. I knew about Kenny Gainwell because he was on my Madden roster. Because when you create players like to create draft classes and put them in the future. And I just drafted him one year, and I was like, oh, this guy looks cool. And I had him for 3 years in Madden, so I played with him a lot. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, the Eagles got my guy. They got my guy. And he was cool, man. Great receiving back, ran hard. I mean, you can even in Pittsburgh. I mean, he's a weapon. Where did he end up in free agency? He went somewhere else this year in free agency.
He did really good in Pittsburgh this year. Did he end up in Carolina?
Did he? Oh wow, I don't know. But anyway, Kenny Gainwell, great pick. Then it kind of tapers off. I mean, look, those are 4 amazing picks in the first 5 rounds. Marlon Tuipulotu, defensive tackle, USC, rotational guy, didn't play much. Taron Jackson, special team guy, didn't play much. Jacoby Stevens, didn't even I don't even know if he lasted more than a year. And Patrick Johnson is actually stuck around. He's been on the team for quite a while. He's like a 4th or 5th defensive end. Great on special teams. So I would say there's some value there just as a round 7 pick that he stuck around this long. So I think he's been pretty interesting to kind of hold on to at this point in his career that he's stuck around as a 7th round pick. I would give this draft class an A. I don't know. I mean, I was thinking A minus, but I feel like definitely probably not A plus, but like I would say at least an A. I mean, we're looking at 3 Pro Bowl players possibly in their career and a solid running back. Like, when you draft, like you're looking for like maybe 3 starters, right? Isn't that kind of like you're hoping
Yes,
the first
about
2
3.
rounds and then third round's the wild card. So getting 3 strong starters and a running back who contributed greatly like throughout his career as an Eagle, I think that's an A. That's an A all day. So I'm really happy with that class.
Well, I mean, I think the Eagles deserve all the credit for Milton Williams getting a second big contract. Like that's a hit to me. Even and honestly, the only reason why you didn't get to retain him is because you drafted well in that same position right after him. So, like I don't know, that's an A plus to me, at least for that specific pick.
Oh yeah. Oh for sure.
But yeah, I like you said, I think getting 3 starters is kind of the goal, the expectation of an A draft. So
and Milton
I think
wasn't technically a starter, but he was so rotationally impactful. I mean, you saw what he got in the open market. I mean, he may not.
Right, but if you didn't take Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, he would have played more.
Yeah, absolutely. And I loved him. He was like your typical like Raz freak. And like 5 years ago, Raz was still kind of like on the come up a little bit. And I remember seeing him in the 3rd round. His Raz was like 9.90, and I was like, "Who's this guy from Louisiana Tech?" You know what I mean? Like he's got the same specs as Aaron Donald. Now look, no one's Aaron Donald. But Milton Williams is really damn good. And every time he stepped on the field, I was like, that's my guy. Look at him. And it was kind of cool because I knew who he was. And Eagle fans were kind of slow to the get up on him just a little bit. Like, man, that Milton Williams keeps making plays. And I'm like, I told you. He's good. I know, I'm just looking at a number. that's my rationale. All right, so how are you guys in 2022?
Well, I think there's going to be a theme here. The years that we do not have a good draft seem to coincide with some of your best drafts. So in 2022, we did not have a first-round pick because we traded it to the Ravens for Marquise Hollywood Brown. We actually traded a 1 and a 3. We traded a 1, and in return, we got Hollywood Brown and a 3. Mm-hmm. So our first pick that year was Trey McBride. He was the first tight end taken that year, too.
In the second round, too, if I remember. That's awesome.
We had just re-signed Zach Ertz, too, to a 3-year extension. So I was like, whoa, we're extending the Ertz and we're drafting a tight end with our first pick. I understand it's the second, but...
We traded him to you guys in 2021, if I remember correctly.
For a 5th?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, midway through the year. Yeah. And then we signed him to a 3-year extension.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had 2 third-round picks due to the Hollywood Brown trade. Cameron Thomas and Myjai Sanders. I was probably a little bit higher on Cameron Thomas. Didn't really do too much with us. He was later traded for a 7th-round pick to the Chiefs, 2 years ago? We didn't have a 4 or a 5th-round pick. And then we had 2 6s and 3 7s. 2 6s, Keontae Ingram and Letitius Smith. I'm sure I mispronounced that, but probably didn't have the best career, given that I probably don't remember how to pronounce his name. And then a couple guys, Christian Matthew, Jesse Lucetta. Lucetta's actually, he's played for a couple years. Again, 7th-round pick. Like, I'm very impressed if you could, stay on a roster for a couple years. And the last one, Marquise Hayes. I mean, not too much going on with that draft. It's not an F because you got Trey McBride. But I mean, D plus. I don't know. We didn't really get much. I
don't know, man. Yeah. I feel like it really does talk to the idea of, does one player being like arguably the best player in his position like raise the grade single-handedly to like, I don't know. That's a really good pick. A 2nd-round tight end who has been the best in the league.
I mean, honestly, you probably could tell me that it's a C- draft then, if that's the case, just because he alone is like,
That's an A+.
would you trade all of your draft picks in one season for a player like Trey McBride?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay, if a team came to me right now and said, I'll trade you our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a 7th round pick for Trey McBride, would I do it?
I don't know if they'd do it, but I don't know because
Like, who says no?
like, well, it's funny because like the whole no one does like 1, 2, 3, 4s. Like they do 2 firsts or a first and a second next year. Like no
Right.
one just does like here's your 1, 2, 3, 4. Like no one does that because the value like de-escalates as it goes.
Well, you want to mitigate the risk by spreading it out too.
Exactly. I don't know. I mean, I think it's fine. I mean, look, you go into the draft trying to draft special players, and you drafted a special player. I can't get too upset about that draft. I mean, most of the second half of these picks are just going to be guys. They're guys. I mean, like, look, I mean, I listed off my 2021. The last 4 dudes I mentioned, I don't remember them even making like like stepping on the field. So like,
yeah, because the other guys did.
Yeah, and you want to count Zach McPherson. He was barely on the field. So McPherson, Tulopu, Taron Jackson, Jacoby Stevens. Guys, I never saw play any meaningful snaps. Like, all right, well they did.
Yeah, no, and I'm with you there. I'm not critical of guys drafted on day 3. I think honestly there's value in just them making a roster.
Yeah. That's what I saw about Patrick Johnson. Like he's playing still. Awesome.
Like a 5th round pick who would get like a second contract, even if it's not a good one, like just there's value in that.
Seriously. I agree.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll move on to the 2022 draft. And we only have, this is going to be short because there's only 5 players. If you remember, we traded AJ Brown. We traded for AJ Brown for first pick because I think we had like 2 firsts or maybe even 3 firsts at one point in that draft, and we used them to kind of manipulate and trade up. No, we traded one for the future first with the Saints, and that's how we got 2 firsts in the next year. Remember that we did that? How we took that first and traded it to the Saints for the next first?
Yep.
That's how. Yep, it was crazy. So first round we got Jordan Davis, and he was interesting because in the span of 5 minutes, we went from taking Jordan Davis over Kyle Hamilton, who it was literally Brandon Graham and my gosh, who was that? Earl Thomas. It's the Brandon Graham and Earl Thomas feeling all over again when we took the combine / Senior Bowl standout over the athletic freak safety, and back then safeties were like, I guess like the idea of like safeties having positional value weren't really like, maybe they knew it, but I didn't know it back in like the Brandon Graham, Earl Thomas days.
I think we respected safeties even more in 2022 than we do now.
Exactly. So maybe that was Howie just getting ahead of the curve and realizing that the defensive tackle market's going to balloon. And like we could get a guy who's a freak like Jordan Davis and like develop him into a monster. And it took time. Like he was, for lack of a better word, like it took a lot of, determination and, self-control and hard work to get him and his body where he needed to be. And, there were a lot of questions about his work ethic and him just being able to maintain the condition to be an NFL player. And there'd be spurts of him looking great, and then he'd disappear, or he wouldn't even be on the field. And if I remember correctly, in Georgia, he was really only on the field for like, 20, 30% of the time. Like
I think it was like 30-something. Now, yeah. Georgia has a unique system where remember, they're winning national championships. They have so much talent that they're just taking advantage of that. Because he's increased his snap percentage significantly since.
He has, and that was the point, yeah. And that's just come with, technique and conditioning and just being more of a savvy football veteran. And he's turned himself into someone who, I'm not kidding, dude, I think he could be like the leader of this defense over the next 10 years. Like, I really do think he is someone with the personality to be a Brandon Graham heir apparent in terms of just leadership. Like, he has like a great personality from what I hear. He's a strong locker room leader. And, I'm just so glad that a guy kind of like Brandon Graham, who had a little bit of adversity and ended up being like a legend, or hopefully a legend, in Jordan Davis. So,
yep.
It's awesome. So next pick, Cam Jurgens, another Another good pick. Hand selected by Jason Kelsey. This was the year right after Jason Kelsey decided that this was gonna be his last year, or no, it was actually a couple years after. But basically, Jason Kelsey said, "I want this guy to be my heir apparent at center," and he was undersized. I remember I wanted Tyler Linderbaum for a long time, and I was like, "Well, look, if Kelsey wanted Jerkins, then I'm all right with that. Who am I to say no?" Nakobe Dean came in the third round. I was so excited because Nakobe Dean was like a late first guy in mock drafts, and he slipped, and he was just a nightmare on that Georgia defense, and getting all the coverage and just looked like a national hero on that defense.
He
So
fell
I was
because
so
of
excited.
injuries, right?
Yeah, he fell because of injury and his size. He's small, very small.
Yeah.
And he ended up being a good player for us. I mean, he left in free agency this year. Injuries followed him in the NFL too. Like his first year, he never got on the field just because we had good linebacker depth. We had Kaiser White and God, who was the other linebacker? I forget who it was, but we had another. Good
Edmund.
Edwards.
Edwards.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And TJ Edwards. That's right.
TJ Edwards.
He was great. He was great. So he didn't play. We only played 2 linebackers in our sub package, so he didn't play. When he did play, when we were blowing teams out, he looked awesome. So we were really excited as a fan base. We're like, oh, this guy's awesome. Like I think in one game against the Ravens, he had like 13 tackles after halftime when we like blew them out. I was like, whoa, he was a magnet to the ball. And then the last 2 6th-round picks was Kyron Johnson, speedy edge guy, didn't really make the team, and Grant Calcaterra, who is still on the team. So he's just kind of like a extra pass catching tight end. Whatever. Not a great blocker, but he's out there to kind of catch a pass if a defense forgets about him. So look at that. We got out of 5 picks, 3 good starting players. 3 out of 5 is really good for a draft. And AJ Brown. Like that's strong. I will give this draft. I'll give it a solid B+. A B+. I'm not going to go A or A- just because Cam Jurgens has been good. I don't think he's been as good as Landon Dickerson. Nakobe Dean was good for a year, and Jordan Davis was finally good last year. So I will give it a B+.
I would give it at least an A-, maybe even an A. But do you not want to give credit for the AJ Brown trade? That was a first round pick that you did have.
Are we counting trades as a part of this? A part of these classes? Or are we counting that? If so, yeah. If so, I'll give it an A. If so,
because you spent a first round pick on a player.
Okay, then you know what? Back-to-back drafts A. Because honestly, I can't see AJ Brown just moving it from a B+ to an A-. AJ Brown's too good of a player to.
So we have back-to-back A drafts.
That's what I have. I mean,
okay.
they were great. They were great drafts.
Well, I mean, hard to disagree with it because in 23 you went to the Super Bowl. Isn't that kind of how it works? I mean,
in 22 we did. At the end of the 22 season. But 23.
Sure, it wasn't.
Well, it was the year 2023, but it was the 2022.
Okay, okay, I see what you're saying. My point still stands that like back-to-back good drafts led to a Super Bowl appearance.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, these were 2 stellar classes. I mean, people say that Nick Sirianni benefited from these 2 classes, and maybe might be the reason why people think he's not as great as his record might seem. But I don't know. He's definitely been the beneficiary of getting some good players. But you know what? He's got to coach him up, so he gets that credit. What about the Cardinals 2023 draft?
Well, what's unique about this one is this is year 1 of Jonathan Gannon and Amani Ossenfort. Jonathan Gannon got a lot of goodwill from me after this draft. I thought he maneuvered through the first round pretty geniusly. Okay. So we started with the 3rd overall pick. We were able to trade down from 3 to 12, and in return, we got a future first, a 2nd round pick, and an additional 3rd. And I think you swapped like a 4 and a 5 here, but at the end of the day, you got an extra 1, an extra 2, and an extra 3. But then we actually take that extra 2 that we got and moved up from 12 to 6 to take Paris Johnson. And it was widely considered that at number 7, the Raiders would take the top offensive tackle, which would have been Paris Johnson that year. So for us to essentially go back 3 spots and pick up an extra 1 and a 3, and then apparently still get the guy you would take at number 3, which I think you got to be careful saying that if you're Monty, because looking back at it, that is saying I would have taken Paris Johnson over Will Anderson. He just got the biggest non-quarterback contract in NFL history in terms of APY. So I think you got to be careful bragging too much about, I would have taken Paris Johnson over him. But anyways, it's good business to go from 3 to 6 and picking up an extra first. Like I said, he got a lot of credit for that. I thought it was a brilliant move. Honestly, I actually would have stayed at 12 and kept that extra second-round pick. But, hey, I still don't hate it. Round 2, we took B.J. Ojulari. I liked him. He was a bit undersized, but overall, we actually picked up an extra third-round pick because we moved back from – I think we had the 34th pick. We moved back from 34 to 41, and that's actually when the Titans drafted Will Levis.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, we picked up an extra third-round pick. Maybe this is one of the better picks, too. Garrett Williams, our slot corner, still with the team. Problem with him, he fell because of an ACL injury. He had first, second-round talent, but that year we were not looking to compete, so we had the benefit of, hey, we could probably wait and take advantage of a discount. He's been a good player, too. He's really produced, but he suffered another knee injury late this year, and so I think when he's comes back this year is going to be a bit of, and he's on his last year of his contract too, so it's like, oh man, like it's very likely he just signs another 1-year deal and stays with us, I would think, given that he's not going to play much this year. We also had another third-round pick, Michael Wilson. That's a good pick. He's likely to get a contract extension with us. He got 1,000 yards last year. What's funny is he barely played in college. He played like 3 years at Stanford and only played like 12 games or something. Like he was hurt so much. And what's crazy, he's actually been pretty healthy, knock on wood. So for his sake, he probably wants to go ahead and get that contract extension done now, get that guaranteed in. Round 4, John Gaines. I remember I liked him. I thought he was versatile. Center guard flexibility. 5th round, Clayton Tune. I was secretly really happy about this pick. Came from an air raid offense in Houston. It actually tested really well. I think he ran like a 4.6 40 or something like that. Like
for a quarterback.
Yeah. A gunslinging quarterback, I'm like, I don't know, man. Like there's some traits that I really like about him. Speaking of traits, we took a linebacker from Auburn, Owen Papo.
Oh, the Madden God, Owen Papo.
Yes. Speaking of RAS score, he essentially had like a perfect score. He was fat. He was like the fastest guy, the strongest guy, the largest jumping ability, had everything. So you're like, oh my gosh, like how bad of a football player is he if he's like that athletic?
That's the flip side to RAS scores. When you fall that far, you start to wonder, man, if he's this athletic, it must be as bad on the other side for his football skills.
Right. So maybe it was one of my favorite football descriptions or scouting reports I've ever read. I still remember it to this day. They said, imagine a submarine missile without a targeting system. And I'm like, makes sense. Like if you're that athletic, but you're just not able to truly like harness all of that athletic ability and
you're just shooting missiles into the darkness.
Right. And then actually this is why this exercise was pretty fun, because I just kind of look back and I'm like, oh man, they get pretty good. We had 2 6th-round picks that year. Ketro Clark, corner from Louisville. He's still in the league, and he's, again, for a 6th-round pick, he's been productive. He's been a spot starter here and there, and just a rotational guy. I think he's been a good pick. And then Dante Stills, He's he's a defensive tackle. Again, just a guy who's been in the league and spot starter from some of our more shallow years, but just good player. I actually really like this draft. Looking back at it,
Well, at the end of the day, like if those late round picks just become glue guys that kind of fill out the roster and they stick around, the value of that is so huge.
Yeah,
because if they don't, you have to keep churning those guys out in next drafts. You know what I mean? Like if you're not sticking around for like 3 or 4 years or maybe even longer, then your GM's just gonna have to keep replacing you with other dudes. And that's when it gets difficult.
yeah. I mean, they're 4-year cost control contracts.
Yeah.
Like, we get excited when we sign like some veteran to like a cheap 1-year deal. These are 4 years. So like the bar of like what makes that pick good is so low. It's because they're so valuable. So yeah,
For sure.
I'll be honest. I kind of want to go A-, and
Okay.
it's probably, and the reason why is we got a starting left tackle out of this. I really like Garrett Williams. I understand like the injuries have been a real bummer. I think he's a really good player. I think he's one of the best slot corners in the league. Michael Wilson just had 1,000 yards this last year. He's probably going to get an extension as well. And again, I'm really high on like Keetrell Clark and the Dante Stills picks. Like
Seems like a well-rounded draft class.
It was a well-rounded draft class. And I think what really like solidifies this, at least in the A range, is we got an extra first-round pick. Like
yeah, that counts.
That has to count for something. I mean, you don't just like you don't just ignore it.
Then, yeah, if you make me count AJ Brown, then I'm gonna make you count that first-round pick.
Yeah, so I don't know if I can call it an A just because I don't think we've won enough. But I mean, there's at least 3 guys who are going to have second contracts with us. Or 3 guys that getting second contracts. So I'll go with an A-. Look, I got to give something an A- because this is my only chance.
All right, here comes my 2023
Yeah.
class. All right, well, I got Jalen Carter, defensive tackle, Georgia. Top 5 defensive tackle in the league, probably. Maybe even top 3. That might be conservative, saying top 5. Round 1, he had extra first-round pick, Nolan Smith. Speedster. Again, one of those players where you're like, I hope it's that guy. I hope it's that guy. I remember texting you. I'm not even kidding. Like 18 straight days, Nolan Smith. It's happening. Nolan Smith. Like we weren't ever. I just kept saying how much I wanted him because I think he ran like a 4.4 something at the combine.
I think he got 4.39.
Oh.
Here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
He was a projected top 20 pick, top 15 pick for some teams. And you got him at 30. Like, you weren't likely going to take him at the time you had the 10th pick, right?
Yeah.
You moved up one, but like, you knew you had 2 first-round picks.
Mm-hmm.
But it just didn't seem like it matched up right, where it's like, you're not going to take him at 10, but like, you're probably less likely to get him at 30.
Yeah.
And he gets
like
to the
middle ground. Yeah.
And
so
I mean, this is your
back
story, not mine. But like, he does get to that range of like 23, where you're like, I mean, are you willing to throw in a third to move up?
Yeah. Go get him.
We've got a we took a Bulldog last year. We just took a Bulldog an hour ago. Like we can be a little aggressive here. Like let's just get all the Bulldogs. And then he falls. And it's like, you just love when a plan comes together.
Oh, it does. That's why we love the draft so much. It's so exciting when like the player you want is the guy that's picked. You know how many players there are in these draft classes? You'll go up there and then they'll draft Marcus Smith, like a linebacker, edge rusher who no one even knew about. I remember I was listening to WIP the other day, and they do like their draft show. And, they have like Ike Reese and ESP and stuff like, listening and, reacting basically. I remember, I wasn't actually listening to WIP when they drafted Marcus Smith, when the Eagles did like 2014 or 2015. I forget which year it was.
14.
Okay. And apparently Ike Reese didn't know who he was, and neither did ESP. So there he was. Ike Reese just threw out guys like, well, he had a lot of sacks last year. Like he didn't know anything about
So
him. So
what's funny
yeah,
is how our teams have really like, even though there's really like nothing to really connect them, there's still a lot of like, man, they just seem like to be on the same wavelength a lot of years. That year, we both were looking for safeties. And I believe we had the 20th pick, and I think you had the 22nd, 23rd. You were just after us. We both actually trade back into the first round, and you take Marcus Smith, and we take Dayon Buchanan. And like, I guess technically we convert Dayon Buchanan to a linebacker. So like, really, neither one of us got a safety.
didn't Xavier McKinney go in that draft?
That was HaHa Clinton Dix.
That was the
So-
Clinton Dix draft.
And
Okay.
it was HaHa Clinton Dix. And then what was the other guy who went to the Jets?
Calvin Pryor.
Calvin Pryor from Louisville. Those
Yeah,
are two guys that we
Yeah.
both looked at because we both had safety needs in that range, and we both trade back and we both pick up third round picks. Now, I was bitter because you actually traded a lesser third round pick and got a higher pick in return, or a higher first round pick than we
That would
did.
piss me off. That would piss me off too.
Yeah. I forgot really what the point of that sharing that story was.
No, my point. Okay, so my point with Nolan Smith was like, we have so many players in these draft classes, and you could just have a curveball. Like anyone could come up there and announce any random name you've never heard of. So when you hear the player you want being drafted, it's like euphoria.
So no, okay, I remember my point. I came back. I remember we were at Buffalo Wild Wings and we both took players.
Oh, really? That's where we're always at.
Yeah. Shocker.
Every year.
we neither one of us knew Marcus Smith or Dayon Buchanan. We do all this like research, read all these paragraphs, and we both take guys in the first round. Then I'm like, who's Dayon Buchanan? Or who's Dayon Buchanan? Like, you just read his name. You wouldn't know his name is Dayon.
For those who don't know, he spells his name very oddly. You think
Deone.
N-E, yeah.
It feels like Dion. But anyways, I'm like, who's Dayon Buchanan? And then Marcus Smith, apparently he led the nation in sacks. And we're like, is that all Chip Kelly read? He's like, I want an edge guy. Oh, he had the most. Get him.
Yep. Oh my God. I hate Chip. But anyway, yeah, so 2023 went Nolan Smith. And I'll be honest, guys, like, I love Nolan Smith. Listen, he is like, Michael Jordan can't hold a candle to him in Madden in terms of like career success. Like, he is not the Michael Jordan of sacks in Madden. He is like,
that's an insult.
Michael, yeah, it is honestly the amount of sacks and production I get out of Nolan Smith in Madden makes Michael Jordan's career look like Marcus Smith's career. I'm not even kidding. Like that's what he's doing, and he's a game breaking player in Madden. But that's besides the point. He hasn't lived up to that. I'm just kidding. That's not fair to hold him to that. He's been pretty injury ridden, unfortunately. Like nagging shoulder there, some hamstring things there. Nothing like season ending, but like a tricep at the end of the Super Bowl. Just banged up here and there. And to be honest,
he feels. Oh, go ahead.
His play's been hit and miss. Like he had a run in the playoffs in the Super Bowl where he was legitimately like 1-1A with Josh Sweat as like the best player on that defensive line, and he was like just manhandling. I remember because he's so small. But I remember he had started to develop a little bit of like a power punch to his bull rush. And he was just knocking over, I can't remember who, but it was like a Packers right tackle who had like a great season. And he just like whoosh, like gave him the arm bar and just threw him over. And I was like, dude, this guy's a freak. He's fast and he's strong. Like he's going to be a monster. And then this year he's been like, whatever, So they picked up his fifth year option.
It was cheap too.
It was cheap.
Yeah.
I hope the Jordan Davis thing happens with him because he's another one of those locker room guys who's like a great presence. Another one of those like natural leader types. If he could just play up to the ability of like I thought he'd be, then he could easily take that mantle of like the defensive line leader. but right now he's kind of in like limbo.
Man,
Yeah. So
so
after
hard to
that, like,
like
yeah, go ahead.
evaluate. Like from Howie's perspective, it's like he's not a bad player, but how the
No,
heck
it's
do we come up with a number that makes sense for both of us?
no,
You
yeah,
were describing him. He's a little undersized. I mean, obviously he's fast. That's probably where speed comes from. He kind of sounds like the Nakobe Dean of the, which is funny because they're both Georgia Bulldogs in back-to-back years. Um, Sounds like Nakobe Dean was a little bit more productive than Nolan Smith, but
I don't think I remember one play from Nolan Smith last year. And that's not good.
that's a
Because
position that you should.
yeah, I should know, especially if he's that fast. Like, look, Howie keeps trading for veteran edge rushers and giving away third round picks. That has to be said something about Nolan Smith. Like Jalen Phillips, Grenard, we trade for Grenard. Like we're trying to get these guys in here which are taking snaps from Nolan Smith. If Nolan Smith was playing up to his abilities, we wouldn't be throwing third round picks at teams to get their edge
Right.
rushers. So, that might come around to the grade later. Third round pick, Tyler Steen. I, like there's that term like average replacement value, or what is it like? Like replacement
There's
value
war.
player. Yeah, Tyler Steen
He's a
is the
zero.
he is the replacement level player. Like he is not great, not bad. He's fine. All right, and for a third round guard, hey, you know what I mean? Like good pick. I'll take replacement level guard.
You give me
Sidney Brown.
a zero war from a third rounder. That sounds amazing right now.
Yeah, yeah. Third round, Sidney Brown, safety. He's kind
One
of like
pick
your
after. I
yeah,
just now realized that back to back
back.
picks.
He is the Owen Papo of safeties.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he was the guy who just completely free spirited, hurts guys. He's not like a dirty player, but like he ends up hurting players because he's so erratic with his movements. Like he's just so like chaotic. He's like a missile out there, and he has no control of where he's going. His major play was actually against the Cardinals, where he picked off I think it was Kyler.
Yep.
And he ran it back for a touchdown, and then the Cardinals came back and crushed my spirits on New Year's Eve. And that was pretty much the last good play.
It almost cost us Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, that was the last good play.
We'll save that.
Yeah. Keely Ringo, special teamer, tried to be a starter for a couple games. Yeah, he's just a bulldog. He's crazy. Keely Ringo is like 6 foot. Keely Ringo is like 6'2", 6'3", and he runs like a 4.3. You would think like, oh, dude, this guy's a freak, but he's fine. He's technically kind of stiff. He's kind of a stiff player, so it doesn't really matter if he's 6'2" or 6'3" and runs a 4.3. He's straight line fast, but he's not corner fast. So that's not good. Moro
It's terrible.
Jomo, yeah, it's not good. Moro Jomo, so yeah, he's holding on by a thread, Ringo. 6th round is Moro Jomo. That might be better than the Milton Williams pick. Because a 6th round Moro Jomo, who had a better season last year than Milton Williams did the year he left for free agency. Like, if you want to look at PFF scores, he actually did better than Milton Williams' final year did. And he's a 6th rounder as opposed to Milton Williams' 3rd. He might hit the open market next year and do similar numbers to what Milton Williams got if he continues his trajectory. He is very good. I love Moro Jomo. Very
The
good.
Howie move is to let him walk so you can add him to the compensatory formula.
Absolutely. And you know what? The next year we drafted another defensive tackle. So it's like that third rotational guy. We just keep reloading. And then the last pick, Eli Ricks, only notable because he was one of my Madden players and he was a starter and a superstar on my Madden team. He kind of bounced around from LSU to Alabama. It was a higher projected pick, like one of those like way too early mocks. But then he kind of fell off with the LSU coaching staff and didn't play well in Alabama. So I was really excited to get him in the 7th round because I was like, oh, he must be talented. No, his biggest play was he had a pick 6 in the preseason game, and ESP said he had, quote, franchise swag. and that was all we heard from him. Just one pick 6 against Baltimore in the preseason game, and we didn't really see him for the rest of it.
Did you say that was the last pick? Because I think you're missing the best player in that draft.
Who? 2023? Who?
Quarterback from Stanford?
Oh my gosh, this isn't showing up on mine. Oh my god. Okay, cool. Oh, Google is screwing me up right now. Tanner McKee.
Yes.
Oh my god, Tanner McKee. What round was he? Was he fifth or
It was
sixth?
6th pick, 188th overall. 11 picks before Tom Brady.
Okay, cool. Tanner McKee. I'm sorry, guys. I'm looking at this draft. I thought Google would
Should
help me
be.
out, but I guess they're screwing me over here. Tanner McKee came from Stanford. All right. From what I heard on his report is that he's a good drop back, accurate passer with a good arm. His offensive line and weapons let him down. So he had no time to throw. He was rattled. He couldn't stay on his pocket. And for a pocket passer with a bad pocket, he's going to have issues. So I was like, you know what? Let's give this kid a chance. Dude, he is a preseason legend. Like from his first game, he was making throws where I'm not even kidding. Jalen Hurts doesn't make those throws. Like the anticipatory throws, the throws again, like those slant routes between guys, the touch passes. Like he makes different throws that Jalen Hurts doesn't. Now Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback all around, but Tanner McKee is talented. I will die on the hill that if you give Tanner McKee a franchise to like start for a season, he will have assuming it's like, average level talent around him, he will have a, 500. I think he could be a wild card team. I think he could get that team to the wild card. I am that.
If it was the Cardinals quarterback this year, where would our offense rank?
Wild card. You'd be in the playoffs. I am that big on Tanner McKee. This kid has an arm. He knows the offense so well, and he is a great kid. I've never met him, but he's a great kid. He does WIPs. What's it called? The athlete lounge after the Monday night games. So he hangs out and does a show on WIP every Monday. Good kid. Mormon.
Tell you what, you get a lot of you get a lot of brownie points if you're a preseason stud with us.
Oh, every year I look forward to it
Yes.
and then no, here's the best part, Tanner. Right? Because it was preseason 2023, preseason 2024, and I was like, oh, he's really good again in 2024. And then he finally gets some game action in 2024 at the end of the season. And he throws like 2 touchdowns in his first 4 passes. And then he gets a start against the Giants the next game. And then he ends up winning the game and like playing pretty good football. And he throws for like 250 yards. Like he looked the part. And I know it was against backups against the Giants, but it was against the starters against the Cowboys. And the game was in the balance. It was a tie game because Kenny Pickett just went out. So, because I remember I wanted them to start Tanner McKee over Kenny Pickett, and they went Pickett, and he got hurt. And I was like, yes, it's my guy. It's his turn. And he's just, again, it's so good when, again, you're proven right about a player. It's so awesome. Like, you see it, and it's not like a high draft pick where everyone could be like, well, duh, John, like, he was a first-round pick. No, this kid was in the 6th round. I've been watching him. I've been watching the throws. I like the mechanics. I like his moxie, and it turned out good. And I'm really excited for his future. I hope he lands somewhere and he gets a chance. That's all I have to say.
He's a free agent next year, right?
Yeah, after this next season. We're going to let him walk. So I will give this draft class this feels like the B+ draft class. This feels like
Gosh.
I can't give it an A. I can't. Like,
even with Tanner McKee, you were proven right.
There's
6th rounder.
There's one guy on this group where I feel like will be Pro Bowl. Like everyone else is just starter tier, or lower.
You don't think Jalen Carter's a Pro Bowler?
Listen, and yeah, Jalen Carter's that Pro Bowl player. I'm giving him a B+.
Oh no, there was a quarterback who's going to take an average team to the playoffs, and that's not the Pro Bowler.
It hasn't happened yet. I'm just projecting.
But you were proven right.
Oh, I'm proven right.
But it hasn't happened yet. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're just early.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm early to being wrong. Yeah.
No, early to being right.
Listen. I'm giving this a B+ because there's a class that I feel like I should give more praise to, and I just can't.
Oh,
dude, how bad would this pod be if I A, Hey, I'm not doing that. Like,
How bad would it be if I'm just like D? Oh, there's a C minus.
No, it's a B plus. How about Nolan Smith show me something next year? How about Tyler Steen do something next year? Sidney Brown's not even on the team anymore. Ringo's not on the team anymore. Jomo's been great, but I mean he's not like a Pro Bowler. He's just been a good rotational guy. And Ricks is gone. And Carter had a down year last year.
You've made 2 Super Bowls with these 5 draft classes. You shouldn't be saying like, how about you prove me something? You're allowed to give some good grades to classes that have led you to 2 Super Bowls.
B plus is a good grade.
Yeah, but you just admitted it. You don't want to give too good of a grade because everything can't be an A. And I'm like, I don't know. I think it can.
No, B plus is fine.
All right.
B plus. If Jalen Carter had the same season in 2024 as he had in 2025, yeah, I would have said yes. If Nolan Smith did exactly what he did in 2024 in 2025 and we're at better, yeah, A. If Sidney Brown wasn't bad enough to get traded, yeah, maybe an A. If Keely Ringo stuck on and like actually became like a good depth piece, yeah, maybe an A. But no. Not doing
All
it.
right.
You're up.
2024. This was supposed to be the draft that set us up for years of success.
Yeah, I hear you.
Felt like an hour ago, but remember, we get an extra first-round pick out of this class because we had the Houston Texans first-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
When we traded for that pick, the Texans were not a good team. It's important to understand that
Yeah,
we were supposed to have 2 top 5 picks.
You were so excited.
If you looked at the Vegas odds in terms of most likely outcome, the most likely outcome was that we'd have the first and the second overall pick. We were expected to be the 2 worst teams. And they go on.
Wait. And what pick did it end up being, Tanner?
27.
Oh!
Out of 32. It hurt, man.
Awesome. Yeah.
I was looking so forward. I don't remember ever having 2 first-round picks as a fan. It seems like if you're a Browns fan, you get it every other year. And so this was my first opportunity, and I felt so burned. I was really looking forward to rooting against a team. And for them to – and they started 0-2. And I felt after the first 2 weeks, both of us we were both 0-2. I'm like, there it is. This is our path. Top 5 picks. And then they go rattle off, 10, 11 wins that year. CJ Stroud goes on to win Rookie of the Year, and he's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact, he only threw 5 interceptions that year. 3 of them came against us.
I think I remember that game.
Yeah, we lost, but we picked him up 3 times, and he only threw 5 interceptions that whole year. And we were 3 of them.
Man, the follow up for CJ Stroud is just crazy.
Okay, I was listening to a discussion about him. Has he fallen off, or has he just not progressed at all? Like,
how do you progress from that? I mean, just replicate it.
So was that his best year? Has he genuinely just been worse? Because are we letting expectations of him like, oh man, if this is what he was as a rookie, he's just going to skyrocket from here on out? And the fact that he doesn't skyrocket feels like a disappointment. I mean, the point is still like he's been disappointing since, at the very least. Who would have thought that they wouldn't have given him a contract extension after that rookie year? If you were to have told me, oh, they're not going to immediately sign him to an extension. Like, they gave Will Anderson one, but they haven't given CJ. Like, there's actually doubt with him.
Yeah.
What's funny to me, I heard somebody say, man, the Texans are a quarterback away from winning the Super Bowl. And I'm like, oh, man, could you imagine saying that after his rookie year?
They wouldn't believe you. They would think someone was hurt. Or he was hurt, or he got like...
Yeah, it was likely that he got hurt. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, we come into that year with 2 first-round picks, 3 third-round picks. Like, we were loaded. And this was an exciting draft. A lot of people were... this was a highly anticipated draft. We were looking forward to this one. We took Marvin Harrison Jr., arguably the best wide receiver since a Calvin Johnson, Julio Jones, AJ Green type prospect. Super excited to get him. He was the first non-quarterback taken. This was the year that Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Drake May went 1, 2, 3. So we got the first non-quarterback. I was 51-49 between taking Marv and taking Joe Alt. I think most people would say Joe Alt's been better. Now, to be fair, he pretty much missed all of last year, so I think it's a little unfair to just he's definitely better when he's missed half his career so far. But anyways, I was genuinely if we decided to go the Joe Alt route, I would have totally supported it. We would have had our bookend tackles on each side in back-to-back years. I would have supported, but we had no wide receiver depth at all. And so I was very excited about Marv. But I was a little disappointed taking Darius Robinson, 27th overall. It's not that I thought he was a bad player. There were just a couple of names that I thought I would have preferred, not only at 27, but there were a lot of guys between picks 15 to, 26 that I was like, we got 3 third-round picks. Like, come on, let's go get some of these guys. Like, let's go get like a Chop Robinson type, or I'm drawing a blank. What's the guy from the Rams? He won Defensive Rookie of the Year from Florida State. Jared Verse. He was a guy I was really targeting. There was a couple of names where I'm like, we got ammunition. Like, let's go get a guy. And then there was a couple guys that we passed on. Remember Johnny Newton from Illinois? He went early in the third. And then the guy I really liked, Cooper DeJean. Oh, the other guy that I wanted to trade up for. He was my favorite corner, Quinyon Mitchell. I don't know if you've heard of him. He was a guy I would have, packaged, a couple picks to go get. But then we passed on Cooper DeJean. So I was just like, oh, man, there's just so many other options I would have gone with that pick. Again, I didn't think he was a bad player, but, And so in the second round, we do the similar thing where we trade back. We pick up a third by trading back, 10 spots or so. Seems like good business. I would have taken Cooper DeJean there, too. Like, there was 2 separate times that we were on the clock and we passed up on Cooper DeJean. We go back to pick 43. The 3 picks before us were all corners. And I'm like, oh my, and like multiple, I think a couple of them were teams that traded up, including the Eagles. I'll let you talk about that part. But like, it hurt, man. I was like, oh my gosh, like, are we going to have a third, or what would that be? I guess a third chance. I'm not counting the first pick. Is that going to be a third chance to take Cooper DeJean? Like, man, what Monty is just, he's so good at this. And the 3 teams ahead of us took, I think it was Kool-Aid, it was Cooper DeJean, and then it was the guy from the Texans who's actually been pretty good. So we make it 4 out of 4 straight picks at corner. Max Melton, Raz guy. And this is when we start to realize, oh, Monty's a Raz guy. Like he really values Raz 4 guys. High like 9'9" something, super uber athletic, got all the measurables from Rutgers. What's a shame is that he's actually kind of fallen out of favor with Nick Rawlis. So when we decided to retain him this year, he actually sent out like a social media post that was like, the meme was essentially like he was disappointed, and it was like obvious. It wasn't even like subtle. It was just like, oh, like he was bummed out. So I feel like he's had some moments, but given what we passed up, that's a tough pick to swallow. Then we pick up an extra third round pick. So we have 4 third round picks. We were very busy on day 2 that year. We start off with Trey Benson. He's had like maybe a handful of like explosive looking runs, but other than that, he's been pretty disappointing. I had a buddy who said he looked like the bad version of David Johnson, and from that point on, he ruined him for me. Like, because I saw it, I was like, oh no, like I didn't see it.
Bad version.
Hesitant, maybe like the bad DeMarco Murray. It just when David Johnson, when he was at his best, I mean, he hit a hole in like He was strong. He was fast. He was decisive. Like, there was no hesitation. And then the second, like, he gets paid, and I don't know if it's because he got paid or what, but, like, it's as if he's like, I'm good. Like, I'll take a yard. I don't need to fight for anymore. Take Isaiah Adams, guard from Illinois. He's actually a projected starter for us this year at guard, so I guess that's pretty decent. Well, it depends. If we're going to start Chase Besances, we got Isaac Seumalo on the other side. It's probably going to be a camp battle between those two. I guess Isaiah Adams has a little bit of an advantage just because he's a little bit older, but new regime, there's really no advantage, I guess. I don't know. I'm rooting for Chase Besances just because he's a second rounder, but they actually might be the same age. Elijah Jones, he's just kind of been hurt. Like, he's kind of meh, hasn't really done much. Then we got Dadrian Taylor Demerson. Excited about him. That was a guy that I heard like second round grades on. So to get him in the fourth, the problem though is we had Buda Baker and Jalen Thompson, and so it was like, man, we're gonna have to get creative if we want to get him out on the field. He's kind of been more of a preseason darling at this point. So, we don't have Jalen Thompson anymore, so I guess there's an opportunity there. Xavier Thomas, I remember he was a 5-star guy coming out of college from Clemson. Hasn't really done much. Christian Jones, I thought was pretty good coming out of Texas as a tackle. Hasn't really played much. DeJuan Palmer hasn't really done anything. And then Jaden Davis also hasn't really done much. Yeah, so that day 3, but understandably, day 3 hasn't really been productive at all.
No.
If I want to give this a grade, if I told myself after the draft, the grade I would give it now, I'd be so disappointed. I don't know how you don't look at this as like a C- at best.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we have any second contract. I'm sorry. Now that I say it out loud, no, it's got to be a D. I don't know anyone's getting a second. Oh, I skipped one. Tip Ryman. Probably most famous, known for not believing birds are real. Which is ironic because he now plays for the Cardinals. He's a blocking tight end. You could maybe try to give them credit for being ahead of the curve.
Wait, you said you were going to give a second contract. Was this the Marvin Harrison class?
Yeah, I don't know if he gets a second contract. We're only 2 years in, and it's again, you're not going to give a second contract to any of these guys until after next year. So there's a whole nother year that we can give these guys, and I get it. I'm still hopeful for Marv.
Me too.
But if we just extend what he's done over another year,
you get 1,000 yards.
Are we picking up his 5th year? Like, what's a 5th year option for him? He hasn't made a Pro Bowl, so it's not going to be like the highest version of a 5th year option. I don't know, man. Like, we have a ton of salary cap space, so it's not like we can't afford it. I just don't know. Like, and I hate saying it. I just don't know he's actually warranted a second contract at this point. And honestly, if we're not going to give him a great contract, he probably is going to be like, well, why would I want I want to change the scenery then. And so
he's going to want to go find somewhere else to play.
Marv's the only guy I look on here and I'm like, oh yeah, that guy's getting a second contract. Maybe Isaiah Adams, if he can beat out Chase Besances, but then that'd be a little disappointing, I guess. But hey, we just want good players. Yeah, I don't know. I have to say a C- at best, and the C- is not because they're average; it's because there's still just too much unknown to give it anything less.
All right. Well, 2024, the Eagles draft, the year the Eagles won the Super Bowl when they beat the Chiefs. I love this class. I have so many good things to say about it. Pick 22 in the first round, Quinyon Mitchell out of a small school. ended up being a starter week 1, ended up being honestly one of the best corners in the league as a rookie. I think as a rookie, he was a top 10 corner personally. Like he was already that good. Shut down, Darrelle Revis type, didn't get many interceptions
I don't think he
until the
had any
playoffs.
until the playoffs. Yeah.
But dude, he locks guys down. Like I said, that Kelly Ringo didn't have like cornerback quickness, but he had long speed. Quinyon Mitchell has the quickness and the elusiveness and the ability to just stick to receivers. Like he is every bit the lockdown corner that you could have hoped to have at 22. And then we follow that up with picking another all-pro corner in the second round. Cooper DeJean. We trade up. We trade with Washington. We trade a couple picks. And if I remember correctly, it wasn't cheap to go up and get them because we jumped up like 20 picks and we went and got Cooper DeJean, who is the corner from Iowa, who has also developed into an all-pro slot corner. And he has been a legendary player so far. And if Super Bowl fans would know, he picked off Patrick Mahomes and ran it back for a touchdown that kind of sealed the deal. It was kind of like the play of the game where everyone kind of knew that the game was kind of going the Eagles' way. And known Eagle fan Tanner Riddle had a good explosion of cheer when that play went down. So
I believe it was also his birthday.
Yeah, it was his birthday. I believe you said if you wouldn't have known, you would have thought that you were an Eagles fan. Is that what you said? Is that how you say that moment?
No, truly, like if you just like walked into my living room that day, I probably had the exact same reaction. I'm like, go! Like he got the pick, right? But then there was a point where it's like, oh, like I didn't see the score.
Yeah.
And I like it just came out of me. I was like, I'm like get in. And he did. Yeah, wow. I for that split second, I was as big of an Eagles fan as anyone.
Speaking of getting it in, probably Philadelphia's most eligible bachelor. He is getting around. He is a
I'm
stud.
seeing that.
All right, so then we go from Cooper DeJean to Jalex Hunt, who's been a great developmental player. He actually played safety for his first 2 years at Cornell, then went to he went to Houston Christian University, and he switched to defensive end, which is crazy. He went from literally like a safety to a defensive end prospect over the course of 2 years. And we didn't expect him to even like touch the field, but injuries to Brandon Graham and other players forced our hand, and he played like meaningful snaps down the stretch. And he developed into those were meaningful, important developmental plays that got him to be where he was this year. Because this year he led our team in sacks and tied for interceptions, which is crazy because he's a defensive end, but Vic Fangio plays a lot of drop back coverage for our defensive ends and edges. So he was able to kind of pick off some passes using his safety skill set, and he's a good edge rusher off the side. So he's a really unique kind of like jack of all trades type player. And I think in the third round, having a guy lead your team in sacks in any given year is a plus. So love these first 3 picks a lot. Fourth round, Will Shipley, great dynamic type running back. Hits the hole hard, really scrappy guy, plays with a good head on his shoulders. What is he? More elusive than quick, sneaky athletic. If you guys haven't hit the buzzwords, he is white. Those are buzzwords for a white running back. He's sneaky athletic. But yeah, good, kind of like a Kenny Gainwell type. In fact, his arrival kind of spelled the end of Kenny Gainwell. Like they kind of was like, all right, well, you're going to be the new Kenny, and then Kenny left. So Will Shipley's here, but you know what's so funny? He's about to get Kenny too because Tank Bigsby's been like replacing his snaps. So Will Shipley's pretty good. Really excited to have him. Aeneas Smith, 5th round, kind of like a watered down Josh Huff.
I don't remember him at all.
Yeah.
I think you're making this guy up.
No, highly productive player apparently. Like he was the only player in the SEC to have 2,000 total receiving yards / return yards if you combine them. So like hyper productive in terms of receiving and returning. And but he's just so small, and he doesn't have like one elusive or like mega good trait. So he just kind of fell out of favor in the NFL. Hoping that doesn't happen to Mekhi Lemon, but no, he's not the same type of player. He was a guy like you had like scheme like open, like give him a jet sweep, get him in space. And even then he wasn't super elusive, but I don't know. We tried to use him because he was a 5th-round pick. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Was another one of those like, please pick him, Trotter. Trotter was a great player for the Eagles Hall of Famer. Cool to see his son come up in the draft, and even cooler that Howie Roseman decided to take him. He's been pretty good, solid linebacker as a depth piece, but we have such good linebackers that he just never steps on the field, honestly. I'd feel comfortable when he gets on the field to be like a good like spot starter, but I mean, obviously when you have Zach Bond and, you know, Jahad Campbell and Nakobe Dean, like he's just not going to be on the field a lot. So I'm sure he'll be on the field next year with Nakobe Dean leaving and Jahad Campbell having an injury history and Zach Bond maybe getting up in years. So maybe he'll step on the field this year and kind of have a role. But he was a reserve for these past 2 years. Trevor Keegan, guard out of Michigan. I had some high hopes for him, but he's been kind of disappointing. He didn't really assert himself and become like a good rotational guard. He never really saw the field. Johnny Wilson, the like the 6'6" or how tall is he? 6'6" or 6'7"? He's huge.
I was gonna say I think he's like 6'6", 6'7".
He's huge. Tall wide receiver out of Florida State. Dude has no hands. He's looking for the tight end. Like
it's funny that you said Florida State.
Yeah, he has absolutely.
He was at ASU for the first couple of years.
Yeah. FSU guy was at ASU. I think his only play in the Super Bowl was a drop, and then we just stopped throwing to him. He got hurt last year really early, so he never really got to play. But look, anytime you have a receiver who's like 6'7" or 6'6", and he's like moving like a wide receiver, it's interesting. So we took him. And then NC State center Dylan McMahon never really saw the field. In fact, I think he got cut. So, I mean, that's about it. I give this draft an A+. I give this draft an A+. When you nail 2 all-pro selections this early in their career and lock down the secondary and take a starting edge who leads your team in sacks, I don't know. I don't care what the rest of your draft is. Like, the first 3 rounds are where you make your money, and I don't know how you get much better than that. So that's an A+ draft. Easily.
It's interesting because it's very top-heavy.
And it led to them winning a Super Bowl. Like, those players impacted their rookie year to win a Super Bowl. A+.
I mean, I'm not going to – I mean, look, it's hard to argue that it's an A+. It's different from these other A drafts where some of these are kind of probably more – the curve is more flat. You probably get a little bit more – production from some of your later picks.
Yes,
and you got some awesome players at the top, and
yes,
like we said before, it only takes a couple to get into the A range, and you didn't just get a couple starters, you got a couple all pros. So
well, it's like if you guys took 2 Trey McBrides. I mean, like
yeah, right.
Like that's how I feel it. I mean, Trey McBride. I mean, if Trey McBride wasn't an All Pro last year, he will be soon. So I mean, that's how I kind of.
I think he was actually.
Okay, good.
Actually, I don't. I mean, he should have been.
He should have been.
Actually, I think he was. I think he was. I think there was 1 vote for George Kittle for All Pro, which is just look at the numbers. Like it someone just didn't know Trey McBride's name. But no, A+. I think it's a worthy A+.
Okay, all right, it's cool. So cool. How was your last year's draft in 2025?
Yeah, I think we could probably, for both of us, go a little bit quicker with this last round, just because they've only played 1 year, too.
Yeah.
Coming out of this draft, I actually loved this class. Walter Nolan with our first round pick, he was someone I was targeting, going into that draft. I'm like, oh man, he did kind of give me some Robert Nkemdiche vibes though. And you know how we talked about helmet scouting before? Mm-hmm. It's the defensive tackle from Ole Miss. He's super athletic, but no, I was very high on Walter Nolan, and he only played about half the year last year. But he was a guy for a position that you don't always notice, at least on the box score. Not only you noticed him on the box score, but you noticed him in his first game against the Cowboys on Monday night, specifically that first drive. I'm very excited about him. Seemed like he was able to avoid major injury, like a long-term knee injury. He should be ready to start at the beginning of this year. Knock on wood. We'll see on that. Will Johnson was a projected first-round pick, but I guess during the combine, some degenerative knee concerns came up in his medicals. His last year in college, wasn't as good as his prior year. His prior year, he would have been a top 5 pick. He was that good. And then he had a bit of a drop off that next year and then got hurt. And he's like, I'm going pro. Like I'm going to protect, my NFL future. He still did fall to the second round though. So like if you told him he was falling to the second, maybe he would have played. I don't know. I think he was hurt, but I think he probably could have come back potentially had he, pushed himself. But yeah, he was a guy that I was actually comfortable taking at 16 that year. So I felt like we got that's how I viewed it. I'm like, wow, we got 2 first-round picks this year. Jordan Birch, Raz guy, super athletic, pretty productive though at the same time. From Oregon, edge rusher. Maybe he'll get some opportunities this year if behind B.J. Ojolari, behind Saban Collins, Baron Browning, because we got Josh Sweat taken care of on the other side. Cody Simon, he was on the Ohio State national championship team. He was a defensive captain. I thought he had some solid moments last year. We'll see, 4th round pick. Denzel Burke, I actually was really impressed with him. He came in as a spot starter this year and solid rotational guy. Again, he's a 5th round pick, so he's going to get beat sometimes. Every corner's going to get beat. But I felt like he held his own pretty well. He's a guy I'm looking forward to having for the next 3 years. Hayden Connor, he was our only offensive player that we took. He was a guard from Texas. I don't think he's really gotten any snaps. Looks like he's played 5 games last year, not too much. And then Keaton Crawford, he was a preseason darling. He had a couple picks in the preseason. He's a safety out of Nevada. We'll see going forward with him. Hopefully, will be another preseason darling this year. Overall, I'll give it a B. But hey, that's good for I think that's only that'd be the second best grade. So I'll take it. But again, there's a lot of room for both improvement and digression. So we'll see.
I'll make my 2025 pretty quick. Jahad Campbell, 31. Didn't expect him to get taken by the Eagles. He was like he's there, cool draft, and he's very good blitzing linebacker. But also he's played good pass coverage too. He really saw a decrease in snaps, which is not good for a rookie because Nakobe Dean came back and was just like lights out after he came back from his injury. So Vic kind of took him off the field. But, Jahad played well in the first half of the year. Kind of limited in the run defense. I feel like our defense, if there was a step back last year, it was when Jalen Carter wasn't playing either because of injury or I don't know, just the loss of Josh Sweat. The run defense took a little bit of a hit, and Jahad Campbell's small. It's kind of more of a rangy linebacker, whereas Nakobe Dean, he's small, but he brings the thunder, and he's a good run defender, a good run defender. So Nakobe Dean was kind of the guy on the field, even though he's not as good at pass coverage. He was the guy to kind of bring, the thump when it came to defending the run. Round 2, Andrew Makuba, he played okay. I remember he had a pick 6. It keeps this theme of pick 6s in the preseason, but he had a pick 6 in the preseason. Really exciting to see a ball hawking safety, and he seemed to have a nose for the football early on in his first season. Then he got hurt. We didn't see the rest. I actually think Sidney Brown hurt him. Actually, I think they collided, and I think Makuba broke an ankle or something, or broke a bone, and that was the end of his season. He was fine. Again, I don't think he was life-changing because he did make some rookie mistakes out there, but I mean, we'll see. Ty Robinson was supposed to be the next Moro Jomo type, Milton Williams, but he did not get on the field at all. I was really excited for him. A lot of people were excited because they kind of pick up on this trend of the next defensive tackle, and he just did not show up as much as we'd hoped. Mac McWilliams, nobody. Smile Mondon, special teamer, nobody. Drew Kendall, nobody. Kyle McCord didn't even make the team. We thought he'd be someone to look at in preseason and maybe he get the next Tanner McKee. No, he didn't even make the team. Miles Hinton, meh. Cameron Williams, meh. They're both tackles, meh. And then the last one, Antoine Powell-Ryland, high sack guy, kind of like what Marcus Smith should have been. Just a high sack guy, but a lot of people didn't really know how it happened. He played at Virginia Tech, and he's just been kind of a cast off, not really doing much on the roster. I mean, I know it's early. I do not love this draft class a ton. I'm going to give it a solid C+.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, like Jihad's good. Makuba's a meh. And everyone else is meh or worse. So, I mean,
the Ty Robinson pick was always interesting to me.
Yeah, he has a very unique body structure. He's like one of those like TJ Watt looking type dudes where he's not like, super like lean or super like thick or bulky. He's just kind of like a long, massive cylinder type, like a barrel chested guy. And we don't, ESP said once, like, we don't really see those types on the Eagles defensive line. Like there's like meat and potatoes, white dudes who just take up blockers. But we were kind of excited to like, oh, maybe he'll like, be a good player, but he hasn't really shown up yet. So in fact, if I think I remember correctly, he got so tired in a preseason game that like he like checked himself out of the game because he was like, getting winded. Yeah, not good. Not good in your first couple preseason games. You're like, I gotta go back to the sideline. So that wasn't a good look. So he has a lot of conditioning to be desired. So this was fun though. I was actually it was kind of cathartic going through and seeing like.
I'm sure it was for you.
Oh, it was really fun. Well, look, if you went back, Tanner, if you went back the previous 5 years, it'd be way worse. You're looking at Rager's and
it'd be the same for me.
JJ Ortega-Whitesides. Like, listen, I was very strategic about how many drafts we went back. 5 was a good number. So yeah, that was good. Any takeaways from this?
What I expected. You've gone to 2 Super Bowls with these 5 classes. We don't have a winning season. Oh, let me rephrase that. In 2021, we did. We went 11-6, but other than that, no winning seasons. It just kind of shows what kind of foundation you can create with good draft classes stacked on top of each other.
But really, see what's interesting is like it really just takes like 2 draft classes, 2 good draft.
It really does. I agree.
Like, it does not take like 5 or 6 years. Like things changed quick for the Eagles after 2021, like quickly. So like things can change at the drop of a hat in the NFL. That's why I love it so much.
Well, you also took the year before. The year before you took Jalen Hurts, so we didn't cover that part, but you also got your franchise quarterback.
Second round, yeah, it's good to hit on those.
Yeah.
All right, extra point.
The extra point.
Oh, wait, did you hear that?
I did.
Oh, I did not hear that. That's not good. All right, cool. Hopefully it showed up on your side. All right, so let's do the extra point, even if it didn't do the thing, because I didn't hear it. But whatever, it's cool. So I've been meaning to say this for quite some time. I even texted it to you today. I've decided something. Well, I've decided a long time ago, but I'm going to say it here. The idea of going to the beach is way better than actually being/going to the beach. Allow me to explain. And I understand you're a pale boy, so you might agree with me. But this is my thought. All right. You think of the beach, the sand, nice and warm. It's enveloping you. It's like a nice warm hug. The sun, nice and toasty. The sound of the waves, so peaceful. Crash. Ooh, great. The wind kind of blowing by, giving you that cool sea breeze. Maybe hear some birds. Frolicking children. People throwing the football. Great, right? But you know what the beach actually is? You know what it actually is? You drive
a sandbox.
Hours. You get to the parking lot. You can't find a spot. You're fighting so many people to find a spot. You're driving. Oh, that's not a spot. No, that's not a spot. That's not a spot. And that's if you do a day trip, right? And that's the free version because you don't have to actually pay hundreds of dollars for a hotel, okay? And then you finally find a spot. You get on this beach. Sand's blistering hot. Like so hot that you don't even want to touch it. okay, and you're just going, oh, ooh, oh, ooh. Or you're wearing shoes on it, which is stupid. And sometimes I do that. Wearing shoes on the beach is dumb, but you get your shoes all sandy. But sometimes you got to do it just to make sure your feet don't burn. Okay, and then you finally lay down on the sand. You think it's going to be nice and soft. It's like a rock. It's literally like a rock. Like there's no softness to it at all. Your back starts hurting. You try to like dig out sand to try to make it like comfortable. Like a Tempur-Pedic or something. That's not happening. Okay. You try to bring food. The birds are trying to eat. The sun is way too hot. You're getting sunburned immediately. All the sunscreen you just put on gets washed away immediately the second you step into the ocean. Okay, and then after that, you're kind of done. You're tired. You come back. You're just waiting for the thing to end, and then the worst part, the very worst part, is when you're done at the beach, you gotta leave. You got to walk and drag all your crap all over your head, in your satchels, and then walk over even hotter sand because it's been later in the day. That sun is baking that sand into like little coals, little charcoals, and you're literally just burning the tips of your feet to death. And then you walk onto concrete, which is even hotter. And it's just, you're in constant pain. It is a constant cycle of pain until you get to your car, and then what do? Drive at least 2 hours home. Like, it is way more miserable than you think about it when you're like daydreaming about your vacation. What's way more amazing during a beach trip is the like supplementary things about the beach trip. The restaurants, walking on the boardwalk, going to like a couple shops or something at the beach. That's what I've enjoyed. Maybe I'm just getting older and I'm like a loser. Right? Like, trust me, I love jumping into the waves, crashing into the waves. That's always fun. And that's still like the only fun part for me in the beach is like actually going into the water. That's like the last fun part for the beach for me. But everything else is way more overrated than it needs to be. Way more. What do you think?
You sound incredibly unprepared to go to the beach.
Oh, how can you be more prepared?
I feel like
I listed everything.
Can you not
What
wear
was I prepared about?
Can you not wear sandals? Like, why
Okay.
do you have to walk on this blistering hot sand? Why do you have to walk on the concrete? Like, get some sandals.
I don't
like what are we doing here?
I'm not showing my feet.
I honestly do what?
I'm not showing my feet. I don't like sandals.
Then okay, I don't know how to.
No, go ahead.
You're not.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
not
I'll
showing my
feet.
feet.
No.
What do you do at the pool?
I'll give you the sand. I'll give you the sandals. What else?
I honestly thought you were going to go a different route. I thought you were going to say, "Oh, it's just boring. You just sit and lay there. I could do that at home on my own couch."
No. Well, the funny thing is, no, you're right. I do feel that way too.
But I mean, look, again, I'm fair skinned, right? I'm constantly thinking about like sun protection, but you're making it sound like the most extreme hazardous place. I don't know, man. Like, we go to different beaches. Remind me not to go with you, because wherever you go is not where I want to go. I also have a different experience with the beach. When I go to the beach, specifically in California, we can simply just like ride our bikes down to the beach. This whole like 2 hour thing is just 2 hours of commuting to the beach. I've never done that. My two experiences at the beach are when I go to California, where I have family that's literally 5 minutes from the beach, and then we go to a island destination called Hilton Head Island, and the hotel we had a timeshare where we get like a week out of the year, and it's also walking distance. So I actually never really did the whole like day trip to the beach thing, and maybe I'm just fortunate in that sense. So I don't know, it never was that much of a hassle, because it sounds like all the the commute part, you're talking about 2 hours each way. That's a big deal. It sounds like though we could also just get you some sandals so we could, solve a lot of this. You didn't say anything about the sun, did you?
Well, the sun. Like, as long as you're putting on a proper sunscreen and sunblock. I mean, I do get burned rather.
No,
I'm a
use that
fair
same
skin.
logic to
Listen,
your feet.
listen. I'm fair skinned.
Right,
No,
but
I get
as
it.
long as you put the proper sunblock, I
But
don't know.
no, but
As long as
no,
you
my
put the
son.
proper footwear.
No, my son. No,
Yes.
my son issue was brought up when I said that the sunscreen gets washed off with the water, and then you have to be constantly reapplying your sunscreen, like consistently. That's really annoying
That's
to have to keep up with that.
one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. I don't
I
know.
think the beach. I think the beach is a very overrated place.
I don't know. These extra points, man, they make you less and less desirable. You hate playoff hockey. You put milk in your ice cream. The beach is just too dangerous because you're not willing to show your feet. Like,
Oh, wait.
who are you?
So let me tell you. Let me tell you. Oh, even though all these things about the beach, I've said, I actually really enjoy the beach compared to the mountains. like,
Yeah.
like,
Well, I get that because you got soft hands and
yeah, look,
yeah.
yeah. So look. I mean, come on, like, yeah, they're soft, but no, I think the problem is like I get so hyped up about how excited I am for the beach, and I'm just sitting there like my back.
Well, it represents summertime. It represents vacation. It represents not working. I get that.
Vacation is fun. Like being off work is fun. Traveling is fun. That's fun.
When have you
There
ever
are
gone to the
aspects of
beach and then gone to
Are you
work the
trying
next
to
day?
say that there is no parts of the beach that is like frustrating or annoying?
If I had a six pack and I was like bronze, yeah, I would love the beach more. But I don't like your reasons for hating on it.
So you're not telling me dragging all your shit back from the beach is not annoying?
I guess I don't know what all you bring. So remember, I ride my bike to the beach and I got my little basket and I can put like my towels and sunscreen, snacks, all that good stuff. And
Sounds like
then,
someone who's about to go to the beach in a couple days.
yeah, because he is. Honestly, I'm all about the shade. I actually like camping out close to the pier. So
I'm trying to kill your vibe. Tanner's about to go to
oh no,
California.
Let me
I'm tell you about one thing I hate: the beach.
No, trust me, you can't ruin my vibe.
Okay, all right. What's your extra point?
So I came across an animal that I'm just like, that just doesn't even seem real. And so then I thought about like, what are other animals that don't seem real?
Platypus.
That's a good one. I was going to give you a couple minutes to think about it.
Oh.
The first one I came up with was a narwhal.
Oh, those are weird.
It's a whale and a unicorn hybrid.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It doesn't make sense. Like, it feels like those are the animals you see in like fairy tales. But they're like, no, they're real. They have these long horns and they're whales.
Or like old sea stories of like sea monsters that don't exist from like sailors, like that.
And I guess this applies to like moose or deer or whatever. But like, can you imagine having something grow out of your head?
That is pretty sick.
Well, I mean, it would give me a headache. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense.
I bet you a bunch of narwhals are having a podcast and they're saying, imagine like hair growing out of your head. That'd be weird. Like little tiny, like thin strands of little material.
I mean, it is kind of weird.
Yeah, like imagine like hair just growing. They don't have horns.
Okay. An electric eel. Can you imagine? Like, that sounds like a superpower.
Oh,
you can produce electricity from your body.
You want to know something trippy about eels?
What?
Scientists don't know where they come from.
What is that like? What does that mean?
It's exactly what it sounds like. They don't know where they come from. They've never seen an eel give birth to another eel before. They don't know exactly like how the mating process works for eels. All they know is that they have a very long migratory pattern that goes to what's called it's like a patch in the Atlantic Ocean. And apparently like they only live in this like one spot. What's it called? The Atlantic Ocean. They go to the Sargasso Sea. Yeah. So it's called the Sargasso Sea. It's basically like a gigantic spot in the North Atlantic current, and basically eels go there and spawn and die, and then they go back to the rivers where they came from, and then they repeat the whole circus, the whole thing. It's just a weird spot in the ocean where the seaweed is called sargassum seaweed, which is basically where the eels like meet up and then they have their babies and then they die, and then those babies go back to where the eels came from and then they live and then they come back, but they never actually have ever seen this process happen, but they know it happens because of like the different things that are in the seaweed to show that birthing had happened. So it's crazy. Eels are very mysterious.
I mean, it's super interesting. Obviously had no idea of that. I guess I just thought about more of like they can produce electricity.
Oh yeah,
Like
sure.
that's just crazy. And then the last one I thought of, it's called a blob sculpin. Have you ever heard of those?
Blobs, like the blobfish.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, here I'll
Is it
show
the one
you.
that has the weird face, like the flop face.
Look at that.
Yeah. Okay. So
Is that
I
not
know
the
about that.
ugliest thing in the world?
No. Well, I want you to look at the one in the middle.
Which one? Here?
So the one that actually looks like a fish.
This guy?
Yeah. So that's what the fish actually looks like.
So what the heck is this?
Okay, so do you know how like it's actually kind of sad and unfair? So that is a deep sea fish in its natural habitat, the ones that look like actual fish. What you see there is a fisherman bringing it up to the surface and it becoming depressurized and dying and becoming extremely bloated due to the lack of high pressure.
So it needs the high pressure.
Well, yeah, it lives in that high pressure environment. That's its normal environment. Just like if an alien, so I always think that picture is like kind of like crude and misrepresentative of like what the animal actually looks like. It's a normal fish. It would be as if, say, there was like a alien zoo, okay, and they took a human and plucked it from the ground and raised it to outer space. What would happen if a human was all of a sudden placed in outer space in a low pressure environment? What would happen?
Look like this.
It would. Your skin bloats. Your eyes. Literally that. You're right. It would look like that. You would bloat, right? And they would say, "Oh, look at this stupid human. This is the blob monkey. Look at this. This is the blob monkey. He looks so dumb. Look at his bloated face and his fat fingers. You know, like that's what they would say. So is it fair to us as humans to look at this blobfish and call it a blobfish when that's not its natural environment? It's not cool. It's funny, but that's not what it looks like.
Not gonna lie, I wasn't prepared for you to give me all these facts on the spot. I mean, you knew more about this topic than I did, apparently.
Well, I mean, I have some, I'm a well-researched guy.
Why are you researching this?
Well, I just have.
Before I give you credit, you're weird for have just been randomly researching this. Couldn't you do something more useful?
And you scroll and you watch scientific videos for fun. You just happen to see things like this.
You just happen to see things. Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense. I don't know.
I thought it was funny looking.
It is funny looking, and it's still.
Can you
funny.
eat it?
You're just a jerk for laughing at it. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Probably. I don't know.
Why is a fisherman going that kind of deep sea fishing then?
I know, right? And be like dragging them up. Be like, look what I found. It looks stupid.
What if you threw it back in the water? Then it'd just be. It's not going to go back.
Well, yeah, it would have to get to a point in the water where, because like the top of the water, it's still not pressurized enough. You basically killed it. Like there's no way to get.
Well, shoot. Okay, are there not other fish who require that sort of like?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Deep...
You could.
So why is it like a lot of fish in that habitat would look like that?
Well, because that picture was really funny. I mean, I really do think it was just a meme. It looks like a funny fish. So that's all I got. I mean, it's funny looking. It's funny looking. All right. So So we're gonna come back next week. I don't know what we're gonna do. We'll figure something out. We're probably gonna do it. Maybe some Mount Rushmores, top 10 heartbreaks. I don't know. We'll find something. It's the middle of the off season, folks. But you know what? If you could stick with us for 2 hours and have some fun chatting with us, then you know what? You're in for the long ride. So, get ready for more episodes. It's coming next week. Tanner, you ready for next week?
Even if I'm not, I may as well get ready.
That's right. All right. Well, I'm Tanner. He's John. This has been Birds Coast to Coast. Later.